And we are starting.
Monster cheese.
And how do I turn off the... There we go, stop trends. Okay, there we go. There's all sorts of new stuff going on Teams, and I don't get it. All right, everybody. Well, welcome to... Oh, my God, I forgot the cards. Hold on. Let me go grab them. I thought I was so prepared.
She thought she was prepared. I thought my camera was working. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't have any Halloween stuff going.
And I'm back. There's my cleavage. Woo.
Yes. We have a
Hey,
shot.
cleavage.
It's an extra added bonus for Threads of Wisdom. So tonight we are on week 42.
Hey, cool.
Woohoo! 42. It's a magic number.
That's how old I am this year.
I
Did you
know.
Huzzah!
It is the, what is it? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Meaning of life, universe, and everything. It's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the Douglas Adams. And
Yep.
I turn 42 next year. So
42.
yay.
That's the magic.
Tool
That's-
has a song, 42, 6 and 42 or something.
I don't know. I'm not numerology.
Tool, the band
Tool.
Tool.
Yep. That's a Tool song.
All right. So my name is Lola Stardust, and I am the High Priestess of People. God. I'm a High
I mean, there are people.
Right? There's people.
Holy
I love you,
crap.
Lola.
I am the High Priestess of Children of the Crossroads in Spokane, Washington. I'm running this solo today. My husband had to work tonight. It's his usual day off, but, duty
Life.
calls. Let me explain Threads of Wisdom real quick. Threads of Wisdom was created by the Golden Thread Grove in Idaho. It is a teaching tool for your year and a day pagan basics. Each week that you attend, you will receive an image of the topic we discussed. And Golden Thread Grove has requested that these images not be distributed to anyone that has not participated in a discussion on a particular topic. At the end of the year, if you have attended all of the discussions, you will have 52 cards that can be used as a divination tool. Ooh, ah.
Bright, shiny things.
Ooh, So let's get started with our topic. Let me go ahead and share the screen. And as those who attend regularly know, that I will sit here and go, damn it. And see, already the image is gone. I had it on here and it's gone because that is how we roll. I had everything up, I swear, and now it's gone. All right, hold on. Let me get the image. Talk amongst yourselves.
So I am sitting here getting ready for my online thing at like 8, and I just got done testing everything, and now it's not working, and I'm like, this better
Oh,
just be the
shit.
software.
Yeah, it's life right now. It's ridiculous. Aya, did you have your hand up?
I did. I was wondering last time because I was like, I don't know if I was butting in because I kind of thought it was a discussion.
Yeah.
So how when you start, given the session, whatever, we raise our hand. Is that how that works? I mean, should we be on mute? Because I'm afraid I'm going to make boopy ba ba boop boops.
I'm not picky. I try to, I make sure everyone gets heard. If we have a ton of people, you can use the raise your hand thing, or you can just start talking if you don't mind being, maybe I might call on someone ahead of you by accident, but we'll get to you. It's really free flowing. It's very, very, very relaxed. So you were fine last week. I try to make sure everyone gets a word in. I try to kind of read the room and see who. Sometimes I see people trying to talk, and I'll just very politely say, hey, so-and-so, did you have something to say? And that usually means Ariel, shut the fuck up. No, I'm kidding, Ariel!
No, sir.
Okay,
Don't
because I
even.
talk a lot, so look at
So
I want
do
to be
I.
like talking over
You're in
over
good
people and
company.
shit.
You're in.
Okay.
I don't know if it's good company, but Ariel's a talker. I will give her shit because she talks a lot, but it's because I talk a lot too, so I can do that. We give each other shit. It's all good.
None but
are
love. None
we are
but love.
chatty. So I'm gonna try to share this image.
Sure.
Try being the key
The
phrase.
keyword is. This is ridiculous. Okay, hold on. I got it up. Let's do the share thing. Not share like, oh, do you believe in life after love? All right.
You know what? That's gonna be in my fucking head all goddamn night now.
Look
I'm gonna
at
be
the
I'm gonna be
there the other
around
day.
the fire. Gonna be like,
I
do you
watched that
believe?
Those are
I
the
can
boobies.
feel something inside me say. Okay.
Speaking of which, it's silence.
I know this is a topic for us talkers. Okay, can you all see the image?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Looks
So-
like a nice set of knockers.
But
Dum dum dum.
Humans.
that's the wrong file.
yeah, that's a different image I have. Most of them are from, rehearsals with Skyfae online and, her knockers.
Shut-
But anyway, sorry. What? Did I say something? What?
Shut up.
What? Skyfae's knockers. All right.
What?
Let's take a look at this picture, and I want you guys to just take a look at it and tell me, what feelings you get. How does this make you feel? How do you interpret this? Or you can be straightforward and say, looks like a bunch of knockers. But yeah. Go ahead and speak whenever you're ready. And that was my
that song, "Getting Racked" by Tommy Cash. Getting racked.
You're getting what?
My mind. Big ball sack.
I think the
Big balls.
rainbows are kind of interesting on this card because, like, it indicates that maybe there's silence, but there's still communication from
Yeah.
one being to the other being. I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking.
You're onto something. What do you expand? Why do you think that would be silence, but the connection, they're actually getting messages
Because sometimes you have to shut up to actually hear it.
Yep, exactly.
Takes a good listener to be a good talker.
Yes, indeed.
Sometimes in those moments of silence is when we get and I'm not sometimes, 99.9% of the time, if you're able to truly enjoy the silence, if you can truly enjoy it, then and be part of it, you will hear messages.
Right. That whole group consciousness thing kind of really comes into play here too.
Yeah.
Because they're all doing the same thing.
The one mind.
Yep.
And it's a lot easier to do the group mind kind of thing when you are all doing the same thing.
Yes.
It's also showing the chakras above and below the being, because we're not the chakras that are, the 7 big ones, but we're also connected to that tree above and below. So it's kind of showing that whole as above, so below. Be careful what you speak, listen before you speak. That was that's what I got.
No, that's good. Ari, Kayla, do you have anything to add? You don't have to. You guys can sit back and just listen. So there's no, I just want to make sure everyone gets their due attention.
Kayla, I understand.
Good. So yeah, for me, it's really just shows the connectiveness. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the sharing, and then we will start getting into the discussion. Hi, everybody. Hello.
Ari had her hand up.
Ari, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just gonna say, I'll probably be hanging back today, because I'm not feeling too good, and I kind of would rather just listen, if that's okay.
Sure. Absolutely. I won't, unless you have something you really need to say, go ahead and jump in, but I won't call on you. Is that cool?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just kind of having a rough day.
Hey, I get it. I'm glad you're here, though. That's important. You show up and just share our energy, so that's really awesome. And yeah, I get it. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and then we will get to the discussion. I'm back. All right. So silence. What do you think? Why do you think we did talk about it, but why do you expand more, my peoples, about what silence really means in our craft? What does that mean? What does that look like to you in your daily practice?
Well, I like to practice mindful silence.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't get much of it.
Yeah. Well, sure, I hear you.
I'm by myself a lot, so I get a lot of silence.
Mm-hmm.
But I find that the silence is helpful because, like, I have conversations with myself
Yeah.
a lot of the time. Well, like, be my little cheerleader. Like, you can do this. You can do hard things because I don't like my job, and it's hard every day to go. And so
Mm-hmm.
I have to give myself a pep talk quite frequently. And sometimes I really have to take it from break to break. I'm like, okay, you got 2 hours till your next break. You can do this.
Yep.
But I find that the silence that I experience really helps me connect with myself and my own inner dialogue.
Yeah.
So, and
Absolutely.
my house is a very quiet place because it's just me and my husband. And more often than not, he works nights and I work days. So, like, I don't have anybody to interact with. I am in silence a large portion of my day. Yeah, that's why I talk so much when I get with people. I don't know, but yeah.
I'm with my my 13-year-old and my 18-year-old are in school now, but my husband usually goes to work in the afternoon, so I actually don't really get a lot of alone time, because my husband's here, and then by the time he goes to work, I get about 2.5 hours without anyone in the house, which is I love it. But I'm kind of the same way, Ariel. Like, I don't get a lot of that time to myself. So when uh but I guess it's opposite. Um I don't get to really have a whole lot of adult conversations. I mean, I do with my kids, but they're teenagers. So a lot of the conversation is like, well, they're boys, so it's a lot about farting and pooping, and and then we laugh and go, "Huh," and then so sometimes when I'm with who am I kidding? I still talk about farts and poop with adults. What am I saying? Anyway, but still, it's I enjoy interacting, and I'm just a talker anyway. So for me, this is something I am always trying to work on, being that moment of, okay, no one's here. Let's have that silence. Let's concentrate on what the universe is trying to say.
Right. That's also part of it, even when it's not silent, because I also have 2 teenagers. And so they go and have a little bit, my husband goes back and forth. But sometimes you have the dogs barking next door. Sometimes you have the, person working outside. So sometimes what is the universe trying to tell you?
Yeah.
Why are you getting the silence that you want, that type of thing too.
Well, we have notes here that say being still to notice. Welcome back, Skyfae. Being still to notice what energetically is really happening in any given situation. Look at that cutie pie. Pausing, listening, not reacting. Is that tough for some of you?
Mm-hmm.
Not reacting right away?
I've learned to make sure that I sleep on it. I sleep on everything. I
Good.
even write about it. I talk to the goddesses, whatever I need to do to get over something.
Yeah.
React. Like, I really try hard not to react to stuff anymore. But it was a very big struggle.
I have, in the last 5 years, 6 years, I have really learned to sit back and observe. You wouldn't know it if you hung out with me, but if you hung out with me 5 or 6 years ago, you would notice the difference.
Right.
Big time. So Skyface like, you're the girl that came up and petted me when you first met me. It was like, I love you. Who are you? La, 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 la.
Seriously. Like, oh my God.
Some of
That's
us
so bad.
communicate through touch. It's okay.
Well,
That's right.
Strangers, there's a problem.
As
Well,
long
there-
as the person being touched is cool with it, you know.
She was very like, what is this person doing? I don't know you. And I finally read the room and went, I'm sorry. That is not maybe the way that I can just approach everybody. But she had a really furry, amazing like cape cloak. And I just was like, I must touch that. Yeah. And Skyfae and I have worked together for a while. She's trained me on some things, and I hope she has been able to tell through the years I've been able to just kind of step back and go, okay, what are we saying?
It's true.
She's seen growth. She's seen growth. Good. There's been growth. But a big part of our craft, isn't that the witch's pyramid?
Yep.
Yeah.
What part is that? Is that the water?
I want
So-
to say it's the water.
I always forget. I have my witch's pyramid. Oh, I put it away. I usually have it out nearby, but I just put it away. I always have it out because I have the hardest time with, and there's different, if you look it up, there's different things sometimes that you see, but I believe silence is the west.
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
I think it is. Yeah, so that's a part of
Everything. So
that's a huge part of our craft and what we do as witches is being able to hear and receive what's not being said. You know, reading between the lines, listening between the sentences, listening to those pauses. And we have to pause and listen. And that's when you get a lot of the best messages. I also find it's really easy to, or not easy, but it's revealing when you listen to what someone's not saying. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
it's nonverbal conversation.
Yes.
Subtext.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Subtext. Huge.
So I was checking real quick and I looked up Jason Mankey's article. It's to keep silent.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the West, right?
Yes,
it
I'm
say?
thinking
Yeah.
so.
So can you give me an example of something that we actually do as witches and pagans and magical beings that involves silence?
Meditation.
We're told that silence during meditation is how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Well,
They
they
Yeah.
have opinions on that.
Well, a big part of meditation is, when they say, and I don't like it when people, it's not that I don't like it, but there are people that say, I can't meditate because my mind wanders. And I always say that's part of the meditation.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
It's
Is-
not
the monkey mind
necessarily
that you have to get rid of.
blocking the noises and the interruptions and your brain weasels going on rampage. It is about acknowledging it and being in the moment with that thought without judgment, which means that sounds can kind of turn into different things depending on what judgment you are biased with.
And Skyface said something that it didn't come through. I was going to copy and paste it for my notes, but for some reason it's not showing. Being in the moment. That is a huge thing that I have learned in the past couple years. I will bring up this story, the newer ones here. You haven't heard it yet, the ones that have attended. I tend to repeat stories, but there's so much I learned from this when my dad had his stroke and his dementia kicked in. And the fact that he can't retain a memory for anything past 5 minutes. You literally have to be in the moment with him. And even though it's painful to see this happen, it has taught me so much about being in the moment. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's life-changing.
Well, and in the article, it says the silence can refer to many things. It's about the power of listening and saying nothing when the time calls for it. It's about the still small voice inside ourselves that often offers wisdom and guidance. Instead of offering excuses for our failures, it's often better to just be quiet and accept the truth of our failings so that we can learn from them. Silence also extends to other witches. A witch should not out another witch unless they have permission to do so. So it talks about silence as also the secrecy that we all hold so dear. It's not as big of a deal as it used to be, but it's still something that was quite fundamental to the creation of that pyramid and to keep silent.
The other thing that I get off of it is the with the color associations with the third eye is silence is one of those things that, you know, we talk about when the gateway or we talk about meditation, and I think silence is one of those ways that we access the gate of going off into the astral. This is, you know, one spot away from the crown chakra, and it is a way for us to gain insight. Yeah. Lola, you're muted.
Lola, you're on mute.
Beep beep bop ba doop boop. So my internet likes to drop. So thank you for continuing without me. Aya, you had is it Aya or Aya?
Aya.
Aya. So we got Ari and Aya. It's the long A's. Got it. You have your hand up, Aya.
Yeah, I wanted to also bring in something else about silence, which is going off what you were just kind of also saying, which I was listening to, and I wasn't trying to think of my own thing because I was trying to be in that moment. But in non-violent communication and NVC, it's a big group type of stuff. So they have stuff about, you know, husbands and wives. And one of the big things about, you know, divorce is the listening. So when I'm listening to you, am I listening to you, or am I actually thinking about what I want to say back to you? And that's something that we generally always, I'm going to forget what I'm going to say. And then you're losing out of what Lola's saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's a big part of that meditation, quieting the mind. Because if the world's in chaos, you're supposed to be able to drop into meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something we work on constantly. I know for me, it's very hard to, and I'll admit it, you know, running a discussion, especially with technical difficulties or trying to organize, or sometimes I can hear and go off what is being said, but it's sometimes hard for me to fully listen and hear what people are saying because I'm multitasking and trying to run something. That's why it's nice to sometimes just be an attendee and not have to run anything, because
An observer, yeah.
Yes, an observer, because you get to actually experience. It's hard. I know that Skyfae just had that with Sickle. You got to actually attend and be.
I know, super strange.
Very weird for her because she is like runs all the shit, and yeah.
Nice.
It's important that we get to see that, because as leaders in the community, we love to do this. I love to do this, but there's a lot I miss out because I'm always planning and organizing and doing this. And sometimes I just want to be like, I want to sit back and hear all you guys talking.
You could almost say that silence is, you know, a timeout, a space to observe instead of this actively try, you know, control it. The surrender, if you will.
Surrender.
I remember when I first started doing classes at the school and they'd ask me what I thought. I'm like, actually, I'm just trying to absorb. I I talking is not an issue for me. I just need to learn to sit back sometimes and observe. So
I was a student in one of Mary Malinsky's classes, and she was one of the ladies that I love her dearly, and I know she loves me, but she was very honest with me and would sometimes tell me in her very nice way, shut the fuck up, Lola, and let other people talk.
It was in college when I learned it, really. They kind of stick it to you if you don't let somebody finish their sentence. And my mom's one that just bulldozes over people, so I kind of got that from her. It was really hard for me, but I really learned it going to, college, and professors are like, I was talking.
Yep, exactly. That's why I don't have any problem with people saying, hey, can you just, be quiet for a sec, so we, because I'm like, oh my God, yes, please tell me to shut up, because if
Tell
you
me to shut
don't,
up.
If we don't send the interrupt request.
you got to take the batteries out of me sometimes. So I just kind of go, "Brr, yeah. What do you think you get with silence? Do you think so? Being in the moment and slowing down, what does it do to our awareness?
I think it sharpens it.
Yeah.
you notice more.
Yep.
Like my husband, I know I've probably told this story before, but he sees far more at things than I do because I'm all up in the mix, chatty Cathy, social butterfly, running around. And he'll be like, so did you notice that so and so wasn't feeling quite comfortable? And I'm like, no. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten much better at that throughout the years. My training kicks in where I'm like, I'm pretty good at like having a conversation and talking, but I can still kind of sense an energy off to the side going, they are not digging this, or they've got something else going on. Put that away for later. Mental note, go and say, hey, are you okay to, George over there or whatever. But again, that's taken a lot of training and a lot of just being in the moment and listening.
So I've got a question.
Yeah.
How do you think silence, the concept of silence, what we're talking about, how do you think it affects not non-typical neuro people, like ADD people or autistic people?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
A lot.
Sometimes we get into this thing with Wicca and other things, and there's a lot of typical brainwave stuff, and I'm always kind of curious because I'm discovering more about the way that my mind works the older that I get. And so I'm kind of curious to start these conversations maybe a little bit sooner than 40. And
yeah, I think that's a wonderful question, and because unfortunately, or fortunately, or however you want to look at it, I don't think of those things because I haven't really, I'm sure I've ran into a lot of people who have that going on with them, but they don't say a whole lot about it. And I don't want to put anyone on the spot here, but if anyone has anything to add, please do. Aya, you have your hand up.
So I have a friend. I worked for Dan the Piano Man, so that's music.
Yeah.
Right? And she has extreme ADD and a few other things. And she was in the Navy. Her family didn't support her because she is so. Anyways, I want to make a long story short. She does all kinds of music classes for children with ADD, and she color codes all of the notes. And the reason silence is the side of water, of emotion, is because water vibration is affected by sound. And that's why sound technology can drop us to our knees. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's sound weapons that are being created right now. They're
Yeah.
just scary, as there's so much. So as water beings, we are affected by what we hear, what
Yeah.
we listen to, what we say. And people with ADD, I believe, are really affected by sound, because I have seen these children and even older adults who have never been able to play or learn music, and music just really helps them. The sound and it's just, really fulfilling and helpful. And so I think sound is really important.
So I can speak. It's kind of a loaded question, asking the question when you have ADD, but
Yeah.
I recently was diagnosed, and so I am not stealthfully, introducing the conversation. And I've noticed that when I was taught about meditation many, many years ago, like the narrative was you have to be in absolute silence or else you're doing it wrong, bad little baby witch. And um, and now that I'm learning more about how my mind works, like, no, I'm not in silence. I
Mhm.
usually have some sort of background noise, tone, fan.
Yeah.
There's some auditory anchor to this reality before I can feel safe enough to move about the cabin, so to speak. And
Yeah.
it's an auditory anchor instead of like a physical astral anchor.
Yeah. That
I
makes
said something
yeah.
really. So I did a lot of work in Seattle with people with ADD, and one of the things we used with meditation was we used to always have drum circles. And there's also the personal drummer, and you could get yourself a really nice shamanic drum. And while you're meditating, sit there, and whatever sound comes out, you're not trying to do one song that you learned from David Weiss or anything. You know what I mean? You're sitting there doing whatever is coming out of you, and that can actually really help with vision questing and stuff and meditation.
Well, that makes sense because, I grew up in a family that music was always playing and it's always been lots of chatter and noise and conversation and music. And my dad used to play hockey, and they would have the hockey parties in the 70s. And and us kids just learned how to like sleep through that and deal with that noise, and it was almost comforting. So I'm also someone that if there's conversation, or like I live in a neighborhood that's right near an intersection that's very, very busy. So if I go in my backyard, I can hear cars, and we live in a neighborhood where there's always we live in kind of a yucky kind of neighborhood where there's always domestic fights going on, and there's, people going, yelling, and there's cars honking, and I've never had a problem meditating in my backyard. It's just part of my surroundings, and I almost sometimes think if it's too quiet, that some of that silence is almost deafening to me. Like the silence is deafening.
That's
I
when
think,
my sisters start telling me crap.
go ahead, Ariel.
I remember, so as you guys have maybe heard, some of you are new, so you may not know this. I did time, and I was in prison for 3.5 years. And in Idaho, there's not enough beds, so they ship you around a lot, and you get to go to different places. Well, I had the unfortunate experience of going to Ada County, which is the biggest county in Idaho. It's like a big old open building with like 4 different quads with a bunch of women, and the noise was all the time. And I never really thought, because I'm such an extrovert, that the noise bothered me. But when I was doing time, I was much more introverted. And I literally, the only way I survived my 4 or 5 month stint there was with the earplugs in all the time. The only time I took them out was when I went to the shower. And I remember coming home and I went to a kid's birthday party like my second day out. And it was just too much. I was like literally in the corner needing to have the walls behind me and just, so it can happen to people that are really extroverted too in the right circumstance. So
Mhm.
I can get very overwhelmed with noise sometimes.
Yeah.
I've always lived in the city, and one of the first places I moved to live at when I was 19 was in just right outside of the city, on a horse farm in the country. And it was so quiet that I never slept. I couldn't sleep. I was like, because I've always lived in the city, and I grew up falling asleep to the cars, and we lived on a busy street, me growing up. And so it makes me kind of think, silence is so loud to me. And I know there's something to that, how I've, where you feel like you got to fill the silence with noise. And so I know that's a big part of me, because there is a part of me that's like, if it's too quiet, I'm alone with my thoughts. And God forbid that I'm alone with my thoughts. Right?
Yeah.
That's a tough one for some of us.
Yeah.
So
the inherent judgment.
Yes, it's
can
the judgment.
happen.
Yeah, me too. I have to sleep with a fan on. I have to. It drives my husband crazy because it's so cold in our room. Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's a big part. Yeah. Bless you. It's sneezing. Yeah. So freeway noise and sounds. Yeah, absolutely. And Kayla's typing something too, so I'll give you guys a chance to get your. Is it hard?
Magic.
Is it hard for some of you to be still and be silent?
Yeah. Especially if you're on the spectrum.
I am on the spectrum.
Yeah. But 70s and oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, look who's joined us.
Hey, it's a Namir.
Hi, Namir.
Hello, my loves. I was just popping in to say I love you all.
Well, hello.
Love you too.
I hope you guys are having a good time in here.
Yeah, we're
So far.
talking about silence.
And noise.
His Nim goes.
Consequently.
Noise.
So we were talking about
This is not my best topic.
Yeah, we summoned you.
Mhm.
We were just saying, is it hard for you? Because silence is important to meditate. It's important to be in the moment. You get your heightened awareness. I was asking the group, is it hard for you to be still and silent? How about you, Namir?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm very still. Yeah, no, it's nigh impossible. I can focus on, like, I go, okay, what are my feet feeling? What's my skin? Like, I have to have focus on something. And ideally, I mean, there's never really truly silence because you'll hear the house creak, you'll hear the wind blow.
Yeah.
But just getting social media silence seems to be the one that's hardest to shut up when you're trying to be present.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's about being in the moment, listening to what the universe is telling us. And some of us don't want to be alone with our thoughts because I think that's why at night I do most of my shadow work, because because the house is quiet. The kids are asleep, the husband's asleep. So it's very quiet, and that's when I'm alone with my thoughts, and then that's when the shadow comes out, and so that's when I do the shadow work.
No room for bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone else have anything to
It's an
say?
interesting topic. I only had a minute to jump in, but thank you so much. That was so interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for jumping in and saying hi.
Bye.
Hi,
Bye.
bye.
I had something to say about last week. Somebody came in and said, I don't remember who it was because I am fairly new. And they said that they got a bat or saw a bat or something about bats. And I said, oh, that's great for the next card because like bats are a really great totem for silence. Because they echo they have two different types of listening and hearing.
Mhm.
So that bats and also labyrinths, which we
I
have a
believe that.
labyrinth here in Spokane, and we could all go walk it.
There's a labyrinth in
That's
Spokane.
true. Yep.
I believe so at the church downtown.
Really?
There's also one at Providence Hospital.
Huh. I knew about the
Yeah,
one there
there's-
because I worked there for a minute, but
Mm-hmm.
There's also one in a church in Capitol Hill, which I've been wanting to like rent for a day because I want all the witches there.
Yeah. Right?
That's where I'm from. I lived on Capitol Hill in 91.
Oh,
92.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Redmond U District kid.
Yeah.
Ah, the U District.
I lived in the U District in 1992 to 1994, right when it was all the grunge and the
I was
Yeah.
there.
that
I
was
was there the whole time. I left
Yeah.
Spokane when I was 19
yeah.
Nice.
to Seattle.
I think I was 21. I was 21. Yeah, 21, 22 when I lived there. Early 90s.
I had my first daughter in 93, so on Capitol Hill.
Oh, well there
Sorry,
you
I
go.
squirrel bombed the whole place. I was actually going to say something that Aya mentioned with the bats is maybe another level of silence is what we feel versus what we hear.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Um, so sensations, touch.
The vibrations.
that so reminded me of all the stuff you talked about at Spring Mysteries Festival when you were invoked as Aphrodite. Because you spent
Oh,
a long
really?
time talking about sensual touch
Yeah.
and having your hair washed and things like that. And I'm like, yeah, I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I loved that ritual.
That was a lot of fun. I don't remember most of it.
Well, of course you don't. That's why
were
I shared it for you.
Yay!
I got to be an attendee instead of a participant. So, I got a
Right.
different look.
Very cool.
I got
I
to
love
attend too, which was nice because when I wasn't attending, Hecate was like, let's get to business. I was like, "What? Jesus, get off my jock, Hecate. And now I'm Balbo for this next year, and I'm like, get on my jock, Balbo. Okay, anyway, sorry.
The Hecate high priestesses who handfested me and my husband from the ATC.
Oh,
So she had her big Hecate wheel, It was really
yeah.
awesome.
Who was that?
I wrote down her name. Her and her nephew came. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
look it
wow.
up someday.
Yeah. No,
It
it's
was
fine.
really awesome.
I'm a priestess of Hecate. I've been working with her for 10 years, so I get it. She's intense.
Yeah.
So, well, anyone else have anything to say before we go visit Madame Zola, the character I've created to do this part?
I think we should all do like some labyrinth stuff someday.
That'd be awesome.
I gotta throw it out there.
So, you are all needing a one-card reading, and you decide, I'm going to go see Madame Zola. And you go to Madame Zola, and you say, Madame Zola. And Madame Zola says, yes. And you say, I need you to do a one-card draw, and it's going to represent and mean something to me right now where I am in this time, in this space. And Madame Zola draws this card. So I'm going to go in order and call on you. I will not call on Ari, unless She really wants to say something. So, Kayla, what if you got this card today and it represents you right now? What do you think this means to you? She is typing.
Typing. I think that it means that I need to focus and meditate and listen.
Yep. Good. Awesome. How about you, Ariel?
So, as a talker, I would think it really is just literal. I need to hold my peace. Sometimes I don't always need to say what I think I need to say, and I should be quiet.
Yep. Skyfae, how about you? What if Madame Zola drew this and said, Skyfae, this is you right now. What does this mean?
It means that I am in alignment with the community and where I need to be, and observation is another kind of action.
Ooh, I like that.
Very
How about
true.
you, Aya?
I was thinking that if Madame Zola pulled that for me, that I need to go within and communicate with like-minded people and join a community is what I was thinking. But to go within and yeah.
So for me, if I got this card, I feel that right now where I'm at, it's saying I'm on the right track because I've been doing a lot of like right before bed time. I've been trying to do every night, doing some meditation, doing some sleep, what do you call it? The sleep, those
Hygiene?
tones.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
solfeggio tone?
Yes, not something like that.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of them where it's just different tones. I'm trying different ways to sleep better because I have a hard time sleeping. So far it's been working, and nighttime meditation, really getting into it. So if she pulled this card for me, I'd be like, okay, keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right track. Luna, see, I'm doing, mine is called, hold on, I got it right here. It is called Insight Timer. What was that? Speaking of silence.
Breaking the silence. I was trying to force them to come say hi.
So let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat the image. And then if you are unable to save the image, please put your email address in and I will email it to you. Hold on here. See if I can do this.
You can do it.
I can do it. And then I do remove it immediately after the meeting, so only the people who attended get to have access to it. That's how we roll.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So this was number 42. How many have you already done?
42.
41.
Yeah.
Okay,
41,
so I'm
yeah.
running in really late.
Yeah, but I'm going to
Yeah.
run it next year too.
Yeah.
So you can
It'll
just
take-
pop in whenever. It's kind of the whole point is we just do it every week for a year, and then next year we start over from week 1, and yeah. So let me know if you are able to up or download that image
Got
or
it.
copy it. If not,
Got it.
put your email address.
I've already got it.
Yeah, I know you do, Skyfae. And then that's not a surprise. And then if we have helped to facilitate a spiritual experience, if we being me, and I am lost my spot. Okay, if I have helped facilitate a spiritual experience for you today, please consider donating to the Children of the Crossroads ATC to help fund events like this.
As her internet
And
goes
she
down,
lost her
proving
internet.
that she needs help.
Oh, that ain't divine providence. confidence, I don't know what is. It's funny.
That's beautiful there.
It happens a lot. It's quite entertaining.
Poor. Oh, she's a sweet one. So yeah. No,
Well, it was nice
Luna's
talking
one of
with you guys.
huh?
It's been nice talking with you guys and meeting up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been coming since I think like week 2. So
Nice.
I've missed a few here and there, but for the most part, yeah, pretty solid. I like
And
it. It's fun.
How do you know
Yeah.
who's talking?
If you're looking at the screen, do you see the purple box that comes up around the screen?
No, I have 4 images, like her on pause.
Usually there's a purple box. That's how I know, but it's different for everybody depending on what you're
Okay.
using and what
Yeah.
version you have.
Because mine's a little blue circle around Ariel's. It just says AJ and a
AJ,
blue circle
that's me.
around them.
So it just picks up the mic and then does that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Hey, it's Lola.
I'm back.
So, are you facilitating a spiritual experience, Lola?
I am facilitating a spiritual experience.
Indeed, you are.
And you can donate to those 2 links if you like. One of those 2 links. It is not required. It is appreciated. And maybe our coven can get a new laptop that doesn't drop the internet
Yeah. I was saying,
every 10 minutes.
that's pretty
That's
good.
a
I like
big
it.
deal. So
All right.
next week we will be talking about animal helpers.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And we will be here, same bat channel, same bat time. I'm going to turn the recording off.
Bye, recording.
Say bye to the recording.
Bye
And
bye.
I do post this